So I've made some progress here today on the goat enclosure. These guys are out here working with me, enjoying some hay inside. I cannot build their door yet. I was able to get one of the cinder blocks out, but I don't know if you can see in there. There's another one over there that needs to be moved before I can frame in the door here. So that's going to have to wait for a little bit. But I did get that back wall cut. I did get a latch on the gate. I actually had to restring it again, or rehang it rather. But it's got a latch on there now, so that's good. Yeah, I moved all of this hay and cut that piece of plywood and put that on there. So that's all good all the way around now. And I tied this beam into the top up here because I let it overhang because I'm going to hang a sign off of there. I'm not sure where the sign went. There it is. The Chick Inn sign. Because this is the Chick Inn. Although I think I'm going to have to hang another sign. Something about goats because we've got the goats in there now. So, oh yeah, and all the boards along the bottom. It's been beautiful here today, so I finally decided to get my butt outside. I've been kind of sick all weekend, but it's been nice out, so I came out and I've got all the boards now along all the bottom. Again, it's just kind of jimmy rigged because my hope is to move this whole structure over there on the other side of that structure. Which is where my fire pit is right now, but I would like to move that actually over here and build up that area a little bit better for the goats and the chickens. And then eventually there'll be pigs on the other side of that fence. I want them to dig me out a garden, so because I'm lazy and I don't like digging, I'm just going to get a couple pigs and they'll go in there and root around and dig it all up for me. So all that's left to do on this pretty much is the door for the enclosure in the bottom. I also eventually have to hang a divider in there, so that space will be cut right in half because this is a breeding pair. They need to be separated in the next month or so. Because if you breed your West African pygmy goats or dwarf goats or whatever you want to call them before 18 months old, they have a very high risk of cesarean. So we don't want that to happen. I love my little Trixie and I don't want nothing bad to happen to her. So we will take Torque away from her once we get some goat buddies, which should be coming at the end of, or mid-May. Just before May 24. So that should work out okay. It'll be a couple weeks more than it should be, but these guys will be all right, I think. He technically isn't supposed to start humping things until he's about 6 months old. So we do have a little bit of time. But all in all, it's coming together. I mean, you know, I had to fix some stuff, but it looks a little bit better now. Eventually we will also be changing the chicken wire, but because they're so small right now, the chicken wire was just better. I'm going to put some goat wire up a little bit after. Now I may or may not take the chicken wire off first. I haven't really decided on that yet, but oh, and this little tiny piece of chain link fence here is just the perfect size to go on the other side of this this gate. So that'll be good. There'll be 2 layers on the gate. I gotta remember that board is there on the bottom. Whoa, self-latching gates. I love it. And of course Gabby's up there doing her Gabby thing. She's been pecking around and driving the goats crazy. And it is very, very muddy in here right now. All the snow that I took out of here in order to build this in the first place. Well, we got like 4 or 5 inches of snow 2 days later, which wasn't really too impressive to me. So now it's all melting, of course. And it's just a sloppy mess in here. But, you know, it'll dry up eventually. What else did I do out here today? I feel like I'm more tired than I should be for that little tiny bit of work, but I am still recuperating, so could just be that. I'll drag that cinder block out of there maybe today, and then I think tomorrow, if it's going to be nice tomorrow, which I think it is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of plywood off of here. I basically just put it there for a windbreak the other day because it was really, really windy and they were out here with me. But I'll take that piece of plywood off so that the sun can warm up the concrete block a little bit, and hopefully I'll be able to get that off, and then I'll be able to frame in the door on the bottom part at least. So if I at least get the door in there, then I'm laughing. And then these guys can stay out here and I don't have to worry about them at night because they'll be sealed in. And I think I've done a pretty good job of sealing everything off. I really don't think that anything can get in there. The dogs have tried and failed. And I don't know that anything is going to be much more tenacious than that, but I could be wrong. So you can see there's quite a bit of a gap on that piece of wood there, but that actually doesn't matter because that is going to be the mid wall in that section. I am going to build, just get out here again, right here, right about in the middle of it, a feeder that will be able to go on both sides. Like, it'll be split right here down the middle, roughly where that shadow is actually. And then the feeder will come out, you know, 1.5 feet on either side so that it'll be on a hinge so that I can just pull it open, throw some flats of hay in there on either side, and then just close it up, and there's their hay for their day. So that way I can feed them from the outside. I don't even have to go into the pen. And eventually, like what we did here, this 12-foot length on this side, the only reason I did it this way, originally it was supposed to come out 12 feet that way and end up roughly where that wood pile is. But as you can see, there is a huge hill there. And I was trying to dig it down, and you know, the ground is just too frozen. So we just made a little tiny one for now. But eventually this will come out another 12 feet or so. So that it's about, that'd be about here, I think. And that'll give them quite a bit more room to play and do their little goaty things. And then on the other side, once I get this tree cut down, this one here, that's dead, and probably going to fall on my chicken coop if I don't cut it down. Once I get that tree cut down, I will then bring this side out so that there's exactly the same kind of enclosure as the other side. That way, because I'm going to separate them inside the enclosure so that there's two separate spaces. And this side will come out just like this one in a gate, just right here on the corner. And then again, go out that way and encompass about the same amount of room. I might have to get rid of some of those trees or something in there, but shouldn't be too bad. And then obviously I'll have to frame in this side as well, just because it's a lot easier to put a door in on framing, and it's a lot easier to winterize it too. The inside of this on the bottom is actually going to have insulation. That's why I wasn't too concerned about the holes in the corners and stuff like that, because it's actually going to be framed inside with insulation and then another layer of plywood inside. But I would like to move it over there first. So that's what I did today. That's what my plans are. I'm going to get this sign hung up a little bit, or going to get the sign hung up and then leave these guys out here for a little bit longer because they seem to be having a good time. And that'll be it for today, I think. Good progress. Good progress.